What mistakes did Hitler make that, according to experts, led to Germany's defeat in World War II? In 1941, Nazi Germany controlled most of continental Europe. By 1945, the Third Reich had completely collapsed. According to military historians and World War II scholars, a series of strategic and tactical errors by Adolf Hitler played a decisive role in this dramatic reversal. Today we'll examine the 7 mistakes that historians most frequently cite as contributing factors to Germany's defeat. On June 22, 1941, Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union with approximately 3 million soldiers and 3,000 tanks. Historical consensus identifies 3 fundamental miscalculations: underestimating Soviet territory and resources. German military planning assumed the campaign would conclude within 8 to 10 weeks. The vast distances of Soviet territory exceeded German logistical capabilities. Inadequate preparation for winter warfare. German forces lacked sufficient cold weather equipment and clothing. Historical records show temperatures dropped below -40 degrees Celsius, causing widespread equipment failures and severe casualties from frostbite. Misjudging Soviet industrial capacity. Soviet factories relocated beyond the Urals continued production of military equipment at rates that exceeded German intelligence estimates. The Soviet Union demonstrated an ability to replace losses faster than Germany could inflict them. Military historians note parallels to Napoleon's failed 1812 invasion, though German planning did not adequately account for these historical precedents. Summer 1942. Germany initiated Operation Blue with the strategic objective of capturing the Caucasus oil fields. Historical analysis identifies multiple tactical errors during this campaign. Error 1. Division of forces. Hitler divided German forces between 2 objectives: the Caucasus oil fields and the city of Stalingrad. Military analysts argue this split weakened both operations and violated the principle of concentration of force. Error 2. Shift in strategic priority. Historical records show Hitler redirected forces from the oil campaign to Stalingrad, partly due to the city's symbolic significance bearing Stalin's name. Military historians consider this a shift from strategic to symbolic objectives. Error 3. Rejecting tactical flexibility. German field commanders recommended bypassing Stalingrad and severing Soviet supply lines. Hitler ordered a direct assault on the city itself. Military analysis suggests this decision prioritized occupation over tactical advantage. Urban warfare conditions. The battle devolved into close-quarters urban combat. Soviet defenders fortified industrial buildings, creating defensive positions. Historical records indicate this environment negated German advantages in mobile warfare and armor. The battle extended from August 1942 through winter, with severe supply shortages documented in German military records. Operation Uranus. Soviet counteroffensive, November 1942. Soviet forces launched Operation Uranus, a double envelopment maneuver. Soviet mechanized units broke through Romanian and Italian positions on the German flanks, encircling approximately 300,000 German soldiers of the Sixth Army. Error 4. Prohibiting tactical withdrawal. When German commanders requested permission to break out of the encirclement, Hitler ordered them to hold position. Military historians identify this as a critical failure to maintain tactical mobility. Error 5. Unrealistic air supply operation. Hitler ordered the Luftwaffe to supply the encircled Sixth Army by air. Historical analysis shows the operation required 500 tons of supplies daily, but the Luftwaffe averaged approximately 100 tons under optimal conditions. German military records document severe shortages of food, ammunition, and medical supplies during the encirclement. The surrender, February 1943. Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus surrendered the remnants of the Sixth Army. Historical sources indicate this was the first time an entire German field army had capitulated during the war. Military historians consider Stalingrad a major turning point, as it demonstrated German vulnerability and forced Germany into a defensive posture on the Eastern Front. After conquering France in 6 weeks during spring 1940, Germany faced Britain as the remaining Western European opponent. The Battle of Britain, July to October 1940. The German Luftwaffe failed to achieve air superiority over Britain. Historical records show the Royal Air Force successfully defended British airspace. Following this failure, Germany redirected strategic focus eastward without achieving the strategic objective of neutralizing Britain. Historical consequences. Britain remained operational as a base for Allied forces. The island served as a staging ground for American military deployment to Europe, strategic bombing campaigns against German industry. The eventual D-Day invasion in June 1944, which opened a second front. Military historians argue that Britain's survival fundamentally altered the strategic balance by preventing Germany from consolidating control of Western Europe before confronting the Soviet Union. December 7, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. December 11, 1941, Germany declared war on the United States. Historical analysis. The Tripartite Pact did not obligate Germany to declare war, as Japan had initiated hostilities without German consultation. The United States was focused on Japan following Pearl Harbor. Historical records indicate Germany was not under treaty obligation to take this action. Economic consequences documented by historians. American industrial output during World War II. By 1943, the U.S. produced more military equipment than Germany in virtually every category. American factories converted from civilian to military production at unprecedented scale. U.S. shipbuilding, aircraft production, and tank manufacturing exceeded German capacity. Economic historians note that American industrial mobilization created a material imbalance Germany could not overcome. By 1942, Germany was simultaneously engaged in Eastern Front, war with the Soviet Union; North Africa, campaign against British and American forces; Atlantic, naval warfare and convoy operations; occupation duties, partisan resistance across occupied territories. After 1943, defense of Italy and preparation for Western Front. Military historians' assessment. No nation in modern warfare has successfully sustained major offensive operations on multiple fronts simultaneously with finite resources. German forces faced chronic shortages of combat troops, fuel, ammunition, replacement equipment, transportation capacity. Military analysis indicates German strategic overextension exceeded logistical sustainability. Historical timeline. Germany did not fully mobilize its economy for total war production until 1943. By contrast, Britain implemented comprehensive war mobilization by 1940. The Soviet Union relocated and expanded war industries beginning in 1941. The United States converted to war production throughout 1942. Historical reasons documented: concerns about civilian morale, initial assumptions that rapid victories would make full mobilization unnecessary, political considerations regarding the domestic population economic outcome. By the time Germany implemented comprehensive war production in 1943, Allied combined industrial output exceeded German capacity by approximately 3-to-1 across most military equipment categories. Economic historians identify this delay as a significant factor in Germany's material disadvantage during 1943 to 1945. Historical documentation shows Hitler increasingly centralized military decision-making, particularly after 1941. Historical records from German military archives indicate dismissal of generals who advocated strategic alternatives, rejection of tactical withdrawals even when militarily prudent, prohibition of retreats exemplified by no retreat orders at Stalingrad and other locations, growing disconnection between strategic directives and battlefield conditions. Professional military assessment. Military historians note that effective command requires adaptation to changing circumstances, integration of field intelligence into strategic planning, delegation of tactical decisions to field commanders, willingness to revise strategy based on operational realities. Historical analysis suggests Hitler's command approach increasingly violated these principles, particularly from 1942 onward. By 1944, German military records indicate some generals questioned strategic directives but lacked authority to implement alternatives. Conclusion: historical assessment, 1030 to 1130. Timeline: 1941. Germany controlled territory from the Atlantic coast to the gates of Moscow. 1945. Germany surrendered unconditionally after Berlin's capture. Historians' consensus on contributing factors. The military defeat resulted from multiple interconnected causes: Allied military superiority in later war years, Soviet industrial capacity and military mobilization, American economic and military contribution, British persistence and strategic positioning. Within this context, historians identify Hitler's strategic errors as significant contributing factors. Strategic overextension through simultaneous multi-front warfare, inadequate preparation for the Soviet campaign's scale and duration, tactical inflexibility, particularly at Stalingrad, failure to neutralize Britain before engaging the Soviet Union, unnecessary expansion of enemies through the U.S. declaration, delayed economic mobilization, increasingly centralized and inflexible command structure, historical pattern. Military historians note these errors share common characteristics: overestimation of German capabilities, underestimation of opponent strengths, prioritization of ideological or symbolic factors over strategic considerations, and insufficient adaptation to changing circumstances. The combination of these strategic mistakes with Allied military effectiveness and industrial capacity determined the war's outcome. What do historians consider Hitler's most significant strategic error? Share your perspective in the comments.